What's going on, you guys? In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you guys the full workflow to create a cinematic sequence. So I want to use Character Creator 4 assets, characters, that I will then bring into Unreal Engine 5.5, where we will rig it up with a full body rig using the Metahuman Control Rig. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And then for face animation, we're going to use the new Metahuman Animator voice lip sync, I think that's what it's called, to match up an audio recording of my actors, which I have. That's all I have is just a audio recording. I'm going to take that, do a lip sync to the Character Creator 4 face, and then do some additive layers of animation on top so it looks realistic, and we'll set up some shots and get a cinematic sequence going. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, you guys, so here I just want to make sure that I've got some plugins installed. One is the Metahuman plugin. The other is actually type in control. Character Creator UE Control Rig. You might have to install this from the Epic Launcher in the beginning to get this on, but then you'll enable that plugin. And then additionally, if you guys are doing this, I've already done this, so that's why I don't have this on. But you'll want to have the Character Creator and iClone Auto setup. I'll leave a link in the description that will go to the Reallusion website where you can learn how to install that plugin and use it to bring in your Character Creator 4 character. I'm not going to go through that because I want to start this tutorial with solely what's in Unreal. But what I have so far is I have these two actors or characters that my friend Melise created for me based on 3D scans of my actors' faces, and I have them inside Unreal Engine already. So this is where you want to start. You'll have it like how I have here, a skeletal mesh, skeleton, physical asset, and this is what it looks like when I import it through the Character Creator iClone Auto setup. It's really nice because it puts all the materials on for you, or else it's going to look all weird and you have to do it yourself. So one thing to note is that when you bring in your skeletal mesh, make sure you import with morph targets. Go to the skeletal mesh, right click, and you'll go to create CC control rig. What this does is it creates a control rig that is essentially the Metahuman control rig, but it creates it from the CC4 character skeletal mesh. This way you can basically use the Metahuman control rig on your CC4 character. You'll see that a folder has been created for you. It's called rigs. You'll go in here and you'll see these assets. So you've got the animation blueprint for each of them, and you'll see a blueprint like this, and it creates a skeletal mesh for the body and one for the head. Okay, very important, do not rename these assets. For whatever reason, it's a bug, it's a glitch. If you rename this, it breaks a few things, so don't rename any of these. Now I'm gonna go and create a level sequence. And this one I'm just gonna call blocking. Open that up. And I've already placed my rigs in here, right? It's the blueprint CC rigs. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag both my characters in. There's one. This guy is number 2. Okay, and we'll work on one at a time. I'm hesitant on renaming these because I think it broke something last time I did that. That's why I'm not renaming them. But you could try renaming it. But I think there was a bug previously for this. I'm going to go ahead and get my mocap data in here. But before that, we have to add the body component. Alright, so go ahead, click on the plus, and then go to body components. And I can do that for this guy as well. And then make sure you delete the body rig, because your mocap data is not going to appear if you have the control rig. And I'll show you right now. So okay, that's Paul, this is real. I'm gonna go and add the animation data, and I know what it's called. It's called pivot. Okay. So this is the full scene of the animation. Go ahead and add that. Change this to 24 frames per second. Okay, so I've got the animation and it doesn't play, and that's because you have to delete the body rig first. Okay, with the body rig, it's not gonna work. Okay, and later we'll add the body rig again. But for now, when you first apply your animation, it's not gonna work. Okay, but now we've got her. And if you guys don't know how to get the animation retargeted from Mocap, that's a whole separate tutorial, which I believe there's tons of tutorials out there, but make sure you have your Mocap data retargeted for the CC4 character skeleton. Okay, that's how I got my animation in here. And we'll do the same for this guy. So body plus animation. Select the animation you want. And remember to delete the control rig. And I did add another light in here just to make it a little bit brighter. Just for now. I haven't done the lighting setup yet. I'm going to get rid of the T-pose by just shortening these animations a little bit. So now if you play this, you'll see this is the entire scene. You know, we're gonna readjust some of the positions later. Go ahead and make your endpoint like that. So we've got the body mocap on here at least. To get the facial animation on here, you're going to import the audio file. Okay, so for the audio file, you want a separate audio file for each of their individual dialogue. Okay, really quickly, I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing in DaVinci. Basically, I have their audio that was recorded with their mocap when we did it, and I duplicated the two tracks so that one is on top and one is on bottom, and I'm just going through and basically making it so that I have one track of only one actor's audio and the other track is only the other actor's audio. Alright, so with your audio separated and created, you're going to import that into your audio folder. Alright, so I've got my two audio files in here. I will now go and create the Metahuman Animator part of this tutorial. So the great thing about this is that you don't need to create a separate one for each character because they're all using the same skeleton. And we're using the Metahuman Control Rig, which is, you know, universal for all metahumans. So I've already created one for Paul. But if you haven't done this step, go ahead and follow the tutorial on our link of how to create a metahuman. Okay, you're gonna have to create a metahuman and bring that metahuman into your project, following the workflow of that, and then you'll be able to continue on from this tutorial. However, I'll just kind of explain what happened here. I've created my metahuman identity, and I've created the performance capture for the metahuman, so you have a metahuman mesh in here and all that. So what I'm going to do is go into the metahuman performance. Actually, you know what? Let me create a new one. Right click, Metahuman Animator, Metahuman Performance. This is once you already have your metahuman in here and you have your metahuman identity and all this. Then we're going to go and create a metahuman performance. And I'm going to actually just use Paul's skeleton because it's going to be the same, but for real. Okay, so that's why I'm going to name this one real. I'm going to call audio. Okay, it's a performance from the audio. Double click this. And then from here on your right hand side in the details panel, we're going to change this from depth footage to audio. Now, if you were doing it the other way, let's say you had your, video capture of your actor's face and you wanted to use that, you can just stick to the depth footage. Okay, but for me, I'm going to show you the audio because I got a better result from audio than using what I had from my iPhone. I don't know what happened. I think the head rig I was using, it was like a DIY one and it was kind of shaking. So like it just looked kind of whack, you know, like I would have had to clean up a bunch of that stuff anyway. So I was like, you know what, let me make sure the lip sync is perfect, which actually you get way better lip sync from the audio, using this audio workflow than I did from my iPhone. But we'll see what happens here. Let's go. You're gonna select the audio file. So for this one, it's gonna be Paul. Oh, actually no, I'm doing a reel. Okay, let's go to reel. And the control rig here, you want to just make sure this is the face control board control rig. That should be correct. If not, I think there's another one. I think I'm going to use this one. I don't know if it really matters, but there's two of them in here. The one under game, Metahuman's common face is the one I'm going to use. Visualization mesh. I think I'm going to have to use the Metahuman Paul. I know it's going to be a little confusing, but that's the Metahuman that I've created. It was based off of Paul's face. Go ahead and click yes right there. This all you can just leave it on transform track, that's fine. So now you have your audio in here, and you're just going to click process.
Uncle Mac, come in. Real for Uncle Mac.
Okay, so now you have your audio. I know it looks weird because it's on Paul's mesh, but we're going to see if it transfers over and how well it does. Now if I just go down here to the face control board, control rig, I'm going to right click on it and go and export control rig FBX. I'm the worst at naming. Alright, go ahead and save that. Okay. Okay, now if I go back into my scene, and I'm going to go into my blocking sequence, because I do want to have it where they all have the animation all combined. So with my reel, with my character selected, come down and you have the face component, make sure you have that, and then you have the CC face rig. Okay, this should already have came in exactly set up like this. Now you're going to make sure you have the CC face rig selected, right click on it, and import control rig FBX. And now I will select the real full solo FBX. And default should all be good. Boom. Now you can see if it's on her face. Yeah, we got facial animation. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's a lot better than, you know, what I had before. Oh yeah, and here what we want to do is, I'm just going to get the audio in here so that we can kind of have it as a reference. And I say reference because later I'm going to have the audio on the main shot track, the master track. But it's nice to have it here as well. So I want to match it up right to the face animation. You can see it because it's all keyframe right here.
Stupid. Uncle Mac, come in. Come in, it's real. Come in.
Okay, see how I did that? So now you're going to do the same with your other character. And I'll just run through it because, you know, and like I said, you can use the same exact Metahuman for all of them pretty much because they're all Metahumans. Just make sure you organize it properly. So if I come in here, go into Paul. I already have this Paul audio set up. Okay, so now we're back in the sequence. I'm going to add Paul's face animation. So right click on the face rig, import control rig FBX, Paul. Boom.
On Mac. Do that.
And I'm gonna add another audio track here. I'm gonna add pause, solo, full dialogue scene, solo. So now we have both of their audio in here, but separated, which is great because now I can kind of shift things around if need be.
Uncle Mac. Uncle.
Makes it real.
No, that's how you break it, stupid.
That's how he does it.
Uncle Mac. Come in. Come in, it's real. Come in, damn it!
His signal's gone.
He done.
Gone.
He done.
I'm going to find him.
The ice tunnel's closed off. Can't get out anymore.
Alright, cool. So this is good. Alright guys, so next we're going to create a new level sequence. New level sequence. I'm going to call this LS Scene 1 Master Shot. So this is where we're going to have all our shots contained in here. But we'll just leave this for now. I just wanted to create that so we have it. But next we're going to go ahead and take this LS blocking and I'm going to duplicate it. Because that's kind of like our base, right? We're going to go from that as a base. And I'm going to call this, let's just call it shot 1. I'm going to just go shot by shot. Okay, so now with this, I'm going to, just organize this a little bit. Okay. Now I can create a shot, so a camera. And this is my first shot. It's just going to be down from here. And let me adjust this light a little bit. I had this turned up earlier to make it so I could see better. But I don't like how it's so bright. So I want to see a lot of the stuff that's on the table, because it actually serves a purpose in the story. And I'm framing her in between these objects so that we can focus on their scene. And 35, I think that's fine. I mean, no, I'm probably not going to go 50. I think we'll leave this at 35. I think this is good. But this is basically the first shot.
Uncle Mac, come in. Roll for Uncle Mac. Don't do that.
That's how you fix it real.
No,
Okay,
that's how
so
you break
here
it, stupid.
I'm going to start
That's how he
doing some. So like it's not matching up, right? Because I want her to say don't do that when he's actually slamming against the radio tower here. Now, just to give you guys a little background of how I recorded this, it could be interesting. So originally I had shot both my actors in mocap suits with, face capture. Unfortunately, the mocap data wasn't that great. And this was when I was kind of just playing around. And I upgraded my Rococo suit to an Xsens suit. So because of that, and also because the facial mocap wasn't that great, and there were some issues, I decided to re-record their mocap data, however without the actual actors, because it was just a little inconvenient to get them. So I tried something where I basically played the scene from their audio recording, and I was in a suit, and I basically mimicked their performance according to the scene that I had set up. Because even when they were performing, I didn't really know what the environment was going to look like exactly yet. But once I built the environment, I knew that there were some changes that had to be made. So I pretty much modeled myself after the environment that you see here. So I re-recorded the mocap data. And then if you remember, when I was editing the audio within DaVinci, I tightened up a lot of the parts where there's a lot of dead space. So I made everything more tight, right? So that's why the movements and the audio is not matching up right now, because I made all these changes pretty much like after the fact. However, because of the way that we're working now, we can really, it's not going to matter too much because we can just make adjustments here. So that's what I'm going to show you guys.
Come in. Real for Uncle Mac. Don't do that.
That's how you fix it, Real.
Okay, so he comes in a little bit too late, right? He should come in a lot earlier. So what I can do here is, I really wish I can rename these, but I'm just afraid to because it could mess it up. But anyways, we have Paul here. He needs to come in a lot earlier. So let's see, what can we do? We can grab the body mocap data right here and basically just shift it, you know, because he doesn't even need to.
Mac. Uncle Mac, come in. Real for Uncle Mac. Don't do that.
Yeah, he needs to come in way earlier. So just shift that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, perfect.
That's how you fix it, Real.
No, that's how you break it, stupid.
That's how he does it.
Uncle Mac.
So I almost, so the audio is matching up, but actually she's supposed to slap his hand away. So that's the part where Real's performance is not matched up. So I'm gonna grab her body movement and actually just slide it over a little bit, because there is a part where she slaps his hand away. See? Right here. So her body is not matching up exactly with the audio.
Uncle Mac, come in. Real for Uncle Mac. Don't do that.
That.
And you know, if you wanted to do it the other way, you can also move the audio clips, right? So that's why everything is modular. So it really creates a good way to work.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's how you fix it, Real.
No, that's how you break it, stupid.
Okay, so
That's
now
how
this is
he
all
does it.
matching up. You see that?
Uncle Mac, come in. Come in, it's real. Come in, damn it!
His signal's gone.
What are you doing?
I'm going to find him.
The ice tunnel is closed.
Okay, so right now I'm not gonna go too much into the whole scene because I'm really only focused on the first part of the scene, because this is really only for this shot, right? I don't need everything else to match up, because I also don't like the timing of this stuff. But don't worry about that, because that's stuff that I'm gonna fix in other shots individually, right? So this is really just the first shot here. He does that. Don't do that. And I think at that point I'm probably gonna cut already.
Uncle Mac.
Okay. So this first part is already looking pretty good for me. You could actually just kind of trim this just so I know, like, don't use the rest of this. And make sure I'm always saving. Now if I go back over here, so I have that shot 1. Now I go into my master shot, add shot track, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the shot 1. And make sure your frames per second is matching up, so 24p.
Uncle,
And you click this little icon here, now you're
Uncle
in the
Mac,
actual
Uncle-
view.
Uncle Mac. Uncle Mac, come in.
Okay, so now I'm basically just gonna go through this and do that for every single one of my shots. And then when you bring it into this master track, then you can start editing the shots. So now I can duplicate that, and it'll be called shot 2. Right, so then I can just kind of keep on building from the changes I've already made. But for this part, I'm only going to be focusing on shot 2.
How he does it.
But I'm going to do a different camera angle here. So here I'm going to make another folder. Let's call it cameras. I'll leave this camera still in there. I'm just going to make a new one. So just want to make sure, right click on here and make sure it's the camera 4, which is actually the same view. Okay, so let me change the view here. And for this second shot, I do want to punch out to be, piloting the camera, right? You can see it's piloting. I'm gonna have a shot. I want it to be like a wide shot, but kind of like a high angle to really show their space. So I think this is good for now. Later I can come in and maybe redo some of this stuff, but I think this is good. Just to show you guys what this will look like. Shot 2 now. Go into my master shot. Add another shot. Okay, so now if I
And
go
go back.
here,
That's that he does.
Come in.
That's how you fix it real.
That's how you
I want to cut from here. Okay, so if I right click on the shot right there, I'm going to go ahead and edit. Split section. It makes a cut pretty much. And then it'll cut to...
No, that's how you make it, stupid.
That's how
So
he
right
does.
now it's all matching up because they're lined up exactly like that. But let's say I wanted to change it up. You can just move this shot and it'll actually start in a different timing than the first shot.
That's
Stupid.
real. He does.
Come in. Come in. Damn it.
And then it can like cut back, you know.
I'm going to find him.
And then you can see how once we add more shots, you'll be able to really start editing it as if you were in Adobe Premiere or something. And right now it's playing the audio from each of the shots, right? But you could also have an audio track down here if you wanted to. You can put the audio track down here and then, delete the audio from that specific shot for that part. And all of that. But the workflow is basically by duplicating these shots and putting them into a master shot. And then you can also layer in lighting, etc. as sub-sequences, which we can dive into in a little bit. But the next shot I want to show you guys is how to do like a tracking shot that's on one of the actors. So same thing, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the last shot. Be called shot 3, but really it's actually going to be shot 3. I mean, I wanted to maybe say it's on Paul. It's like Paul medium. So come in here. I'm going to go ahead and just delete this the cameras here. So here, I'm going to add a camera, and this camera, I want it to be focused on Paul, but as he's moving, I want the camera to follow him, right? So instead of trying to keyframe everything, it's going to be quite tedious. What I'm going to do is basically do a look at track. What is it called? Look at attach track. So the way you do that is, it's a little tricky though because we have to create an empty actor first. Alright, so before we do that, I'm just going to go up here, add empty actor. Alright, so actor 2, and I'm just going to rename it right away to be called Paul Head Tracker. Alright, and I'm going to attach that to, where is it? Right click on it, attach to Paul, but see, this is where it's kind of stupid how, I believe it's BP2? Is he BP2? No, he's BP3. Okay, so this is where the naming thing is going to be weird. Attach this to BP3. BP or CC rig BP3. That's what it is. To the head, and I'm going to zero out the location of the tracker as well as the rotation. So now it's attached to my paw character. Okay, and one important thing to note is that I did not make these into spawnable actors. I want to keep it possessible, because when you have attached tracks on here and then you have it spawnable, it's going to mess it up, it's going to break them. So that's why I kept them as possessible. If you're not using any of these trackers, then you can have them as spawnable. So now I have my tracker on him, and now I can go to my camera that I made earlier, this camera, and there's a section called actor, or I guess it's called look at tracking settings. So the actor to track is going to be the head tracker that we made, right? So go ahead and select that. And there's some other settings you can, you can make offsets if you had to. But now if I pilot it, it's not tracking. Okay, enable look at tracking. Enable that. Now we're tracking.
Real for Uncle Mac. Don't do that.
That's how you fix it, Real.
No, that's how you break it, stupid.
That's how he does it.
Uncle Mac.
Alright, you guys, so that's pretty much my workflow in terms of setting up the shots. Now I'm going to just go very briefly into how to add additive layers of animation on top to make this even look better. So for that, let's just take the example of the first shot, okay? So that would be shot 1. I'm going to go into that level sequence. And here we have our facial animation, right? That's probably the first thing we want to do, is to kind of beef this up a little bit. So on Real's character, we have her lip sync, but like there's no other facial animation. So first thing, I'm going to just add some blinks. And to do that, I'm going to go here. You have the control rig data. I'm going to click the plus and do additive. All right. And then make sure with that, you're going to, so now we're gonna add some blinks. Okay, so first I'm gonna make a keyframe because her eyes are open. And then we'll do a eyes closed. So that'll basically be 1. See, her eyes are closed. And close her eyes on that. And then they're going to open again, which would be a 0. Okay, make sure this is clicked on so that anytime you make a change, it creates a keyframe.
Come in, Mac. Come in. Come in.
So right now, eyes open.
Uncle Mac, come in.
Her eyes close very, very slowly. That's because I gotta bring all of this very close to that. Okay, now it's an actual blink. So I'll get in a little bit tighter here. I probably want her eyes to be blinking a little bit faster. Because she's nervous. And now all I need to do is copy, paste.
Uncle Mac, come.
Right? And then you can do some that are like closer together. Like rapid eye blinks.
Uncle Mac, come in.
Right? And especially like when people are talking to you or you're communicating, you're blinking more rapidly. So let's go ahead and do that. Maybe one right after. Let's see that's
And-
normal.
Waveform comac. Don't you
Okay, but at this point her face is already turned away, so we don't really care about it anymore. So you see how, like, because you have a shot-based system, you don't have to do animation for the entire sequence, only the parts that you see, right? And so here we don't even see that much of her face, to be honest, from the actual shot. Like if you look at it, we're all the way over here.
Mac? Uncle Mac? Uncle Mac, come in. Waveform comac.
I think maybe some more blinks though. Just cause I think she needs to blink a little bit more. Okay, so she is blinking.
Uncle Mac, come in. Waveform comac.
I don't know, can you guys even see her blinking?
Come. Uncle Mac, come in. Waveform comac.
And probably some eye movement too, you know, like the way her eyes are moving.
Uncle Mac. Uncle. Waveform comac.
Shift C to pop it out.
Waveform comac.
And you know, that's the thing. I'm not that great with facial animation, but I would probably want to change at least like probably want to move her eyes a little bit. So let's see here. I aim. Let me see what happens here. Okay, so our eyes are looking. I believe that's the eyes aim. There's got to be an easier way to do this. Eyes aim, look at switch. Okay, so eyes aim. So at least now there's some eye movement.
Uncle Mac, come in. Waveform comac.
So when she looks that way, her eyes, no. Her eyes look pretty crazy right here.
Uncle comac. Comac. Mac.
You know, like right here, I actually want her eyes to be a little bit squinted. Squint liner. Let's see if that actually does anything. No, that looks kind of weird. I don't know. So here, I actually want her eyes to be slightly blinked.
Mac.
Like basically, I don't want her eyes to be so wide open. You know, 0.7 maybe. So now she looks a little stoned.
Mac.
But that way she doesn't look all cracked out. Right? She looks a little cracked out right here.
Mac. In. Mac. Come in. Real phone call Mac.
Yeah, even like her eyes,
Mac.
like
Mac.
right here, she's
Mac.
like looking all the way up. I don't even like that. She looks crazy though.
Mac. Phone call. Real phone. Come in. Come in. Real phone call Mac. Mac.
Okay, so I'm gonna not fiddle around with this too much. This was really just to show you guys like some basic additive layers. And we could do the same thing for her body, right? Let's say like you want her arm to be in the right place because you actually see it here.
Real phone call Mac.
Like her arm, this arm should be a little bit further down. So what we can do is go to Reels character, and for her body, because we actually have the animation here as a animation sequence, here you'll have to go to body, right click, bake to control rig, and the control rig that you're going to use is I believe the Metahuman, I think it's the Metahuman Control Rig. Where's the body rig? No, you want to use the body rig. Alright. So now you'll see the same. We got the body rig data here, but make sure you add additive layer. And then on this new layer, you're going to make some changes. Right? So pretty much right from the beginning, I want her. I mean, honestly, we should have the IK switched on. And this is something that always confused me, but I'm going to show you guys since we're here. I want her to be using IK, right? I don't want her to be an FK. So the way I'll do that is I'll actually go into the first rig right here. And if I search up, and it's going to be her left hand.
Hey,
Yeah?
I'm gonna go out with Mo. Jack's here. Can you watch out for Lily if she wakes up?
Yeah.
And I can take her.
Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys how to switch from FK to IK. So on the left hand control rig here, where is it? Switch. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to... Alright, so now we're going to do some cleanup real quick, and you guys see that this is on the FK rig. I want it to have the IK. And this is something I never really knew how to do for a while, so I always edited with FK. But here, if I go back into the original body rig, go to Global Controls, and then you'll be able to switch on and off, right? So I'm going to switch the left arm, IK, FK switch. But make sure you like delete all of these, because, well, I guess you don't, yeah, no, I want to delete these because I actually want to be an IK for the most part. So I'm going to delete all of those and basically just have switch to IK. See how it turns into the little square box? And this way it'll always stay there. Alright? So now I know at least that hand is going to be IK. Now if I go back into the second additive layer, now I can select that. And I can like move it around. See that? I like this. Shift C to pop out of the camera view. And now I can kind of like place her hand. You know, I'm not an animator. That's why when I figured this out, it was like, I was so happy. Because for the longest time, I kept trying to do like FKs where you change the wrist and then you have to change everything else. And I was like, man, there's got to be an easier way to do this. So with the IK switch, now I can put her hand. By the way, I have this arc ball turned on. I don't know if you guys have. Go to Editor Preferences. Type in arc B. Enable arc ball rotate. Right now you can click in the middle of this and do that. All right. So now I'm gonna have her hand on the table. And if I do Shift C, I can go back into this view and press G to turn all the controls off. So now I can see, now the hand is in the right place.
Come in.
And just go ahead and keyframe that.
Do that.
Hey, you know what I should have done? Oh wait, hold on. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to get the, so now that we switched to IK, now I'm going to actually make a change on the additive layer. Okay, so go to your additive layer of the control rig here. And before we do anything though, Okay, so with this, right? Before we do anything, I want to keyframe before and after of the section that we want to change. So we want to change this first part because I want her hand to be on the table. But once we get to this part, pretty much, I want it to go back to wherever it was. Okay? But up until this point, I would say, you know, her hand can be on the table. Move that a little bit so it's, you know. Now her hand is on the table, so it's not just hanging up in the air. So this all looks good. You know? I always do this from the shot, right? So I don't care if these other parts are not matching up. From this shot, if it looks good, then we're good. And yeah, so I'll just go through and basically do all the animation, cleanup, and additive layers from this. So now we go into our master shot, and it looks like the arm didn't even update. So what I could do, that could be just a glitch. Let me see. Shot 1. See, you have to update the shot or else it actually doesn't update. So again, there's some glitchy stuff in here, but now it looks fine. Okay guys, so that was quite a long tutorial, but this is basically the process to get your shots up. And leave me a like or a comment, and appreciate you guys. Alright, later.